We've got a video here. Shelby Houlihan busted for Nandrolone. I'm going to share my honest opinion, criticisms here. Do I think Shelby's times, some of them are natty, the 14:23. Correct me if I'm wrong. She ran a 14:23, set the 5,000 meter American women's record. 14:23. That is really fast. I would say that is not a natty time. I would say anything under 15, like 14:40s, that's when you were starting to go, what's going on here? That's just my personal opinion. But I also don't think she took Nandrolone. I don't think she took Nandrolone. What is Nandrolone? Nandrolone, anabolic steroid, very popular with powerlifters. It's really easy to get busted for Nandrolone. Like, that's something I'm like, there's no way if you're going for the Olympic trials, etc., you'd knowingly take Nandrolone because it's so easily detectable. We don't know with the drug test how much was detected in the system. Shelby claims she did Shelby Houlihan, I think I've got her name right. She claims she did a hair test and there was no build-up, etc., and that the ISC or the WADA didn't care about that, whatever. So I think that there's a lot to go on here. Let's pick it apart. Freestyle in the car park here. Nandrolone, decanoate, aka decadurabolin, aka, or the sister one would be nandrolone phenylpropionate, which would be a faster acting, clear system faster, but even still, you got like almost like a 28-day. Like, I mean, this is the stuff that you get test positive for like months afterwards. Some people even say 2 years. If you pinned some organ jet in the delt, some people say with some of the testing, you could test positive for 2 years afterwards. It's in your system. So with something that's so easy to test positive for, she's used the excuse that she ate some pork, and this is a good case for veganism right here. This is a really good case for veganism. I mean, what? Yeah, but that's another video. But I'm just saying, like, why would you be risking any contamination test by eating pork or meat? Or just stick with the plants: rice, fruit, sugar, corn, quinoa, potatoes, Kenyan, African, Ugandan style. Like, get it done. Even risking food poisoning or whatever. It's just, why take the risk? Marginal gains we're talking here, people. So anyway, could that be a plausible excuse? 100%, because the test didn't show. We don't know how much she got tested for. I mean, it could be like 2 picograms per like deciliter, blah blah blah, or whatever. It could be like this minute, like a little speck. You know what I mean? Like a little speck of cocaine on your shoulder because you hugged someone who just did a bump, and now you were testing positive for cocaine. But it's like, well, was it a kilo in your pocket and you stuffed down your pants, or was it like a little nanogram on your shoulder because you hugged someone? So it's like. Another plausible excuse, one is the food. That's definitely plausible. Another one could be sexual contamination. Maybe she gave a gobby to someone in a car park or whatever, and he's been on the decadurabolin cycle, and there's that trace element in her system. If you ingest it, body fluids, etc., intercourse, whatever, old, downstairs, whatever, backdoor, it's going in your system. You still could test positive for it, especially decadurabolin, aka nandrolone decanoate. This stuff is like, sticks around, man, like a bad smell on drug tests. I remember, I won't mention any names, but I was with, should I tell this story? Maybe I should. I was around an athlete once who I saw him inject himself in the quad. And I was like, wow, that's pretty blazing, doing it out here. Okay, I didn't say nothing. And a few days later, he tested positive in a sporting event, big sporting event. And I was thinking, wow. And he tested positive for Nandrolone. Now looking back, I'm thinking, why on earth would you use Nandrolone? Why would someone use Nandrolone? Increases muscle mass, which, if you use it in a small amount, you're not going to notice any difference really in terms of your aesthetic, but it's going to give you more power as a runner. Why would a 5,000 meter person use this drug? I wouldn't personally use it. But what it could do, it could give you the benefits of increased red blood cell count. But just what people use the EPO for. It's, for me, using anabolics, if you're going to use an anabolic, I'm not saying you should, I would say something like, I've used them before, I would say probably the best would be Anavar, oxandrolone, from your doctor. You can get it from script from your doctor, you get the US, Canada, Australia, easy to get from script from your doctor. That, in my opinion, is what's very, very popular in Russia, Australia, etc., US as well. For runners, it definitely would work. For the recovery, definitely that hardcore recovery. I mean, I've done these things in terms of experimentation, not for performance, because I don't train enough to warrant using these things. I've just taken them and gone, oh wow, I've just saved 30 seconds off my 5K time, or blah 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 blah. And I'd be running 18 minutes, now I run 17:30, or whatever, which is sort of laughable that I'd be using anything in that experiment context, but that's the deal here we do with the Durenrider laboratories. So yeah, the drugs work, but what I would say that people will be using, in my honest opinion, I don't think running 14:23 is possible, is natural. I don't think it's possible at all. I would say, looking at this individual, I don't see any indications of decadurabolin usage. I see, when I look at times of anybody, when I see 14:23, now correct me if I'm wrong, this person's around 14:23 for 5K on the track. Crazy fast time. I'm going to suggest, based on who else has run that time, I'm going to have the suspicion that EPO or an oxygen vector doping product was used, which is fine. It's a sport. It's the Olympics, man. All this thing about clean sport, fair sport, it's total political toss. Yeah, we want to see records broken. We want to see mutant athletes getting it done. This is entertainment, people. This is entertainment. No one's cheating at that level. They're all on something at that top level. I'm not talking making the finals and making the heat and they're doing the Olympic drill. I'm talking like getting that Nike check cashed, man, 6-figure income. I'm talking, show me the money, Jerry Maguire style. That requires the doctors, all right? The doctors requires pharmaceutical assistance. So what else would be popular in the runners in the US? I would say asthma medication. The old humble puffer, Ventolin is incredible. You got any allergies or whatever like that, it can really just makes a big difference for me. Pussy allergy, like cat fur allergies, Adderall, the dexamphetamines, the lysoamphetamines, those legal ADD drugs, they're incredible. Open up your airways, give that euphoria, very, very popular and legal. As long as you got the doctor's prescription, got your TUE. What's a TUE, Durenrider? Therapeutic use exemption. So you can take a lot of drugs legally. You got to pass with your federation, blah blah blah, and that can be political as well. But so that's probably the four things I would say that these runners are using. EPO, you can't beat old EPO. It doesn't give you any weight gain. You still stay super slim. Still say zygomatic cheeks, etc. Prednisone to open up the airways even more, and probably Ventolin for a bit of extra insistent, and would be the Adderalls, those smart drugs, dexamphetamine, those things like that. What they call them, Vianase, things like that. They definitely make a difference. I've experimented with those before, and yeah, for sure, you're running on speed, man. You're running on speed, and we're talking like 20 to 30 seconds difference, which for some people is not much at all. But when you're at that pointy end, that's huge. That's huge. So that's my opinion. I believe Shelby is innocent in this case, but also I don't believe those times she ran are natty, full natty bra. That's just my opinion. But I think this is a good highlight why we should just get rid of all the drug tests. Because now this girl's career has been destroyed. He has been destroyed. She's going to be getting bullied and like, oh, you're a dope, blah, 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 blah. I support clean sport and I wear my Nike shoe. Like, Nike wouldn't be Nike without all the drugged up athletes as sponsored. Let's be real. So you can't say, well, I love clean sport. Get rid of Shelby. She's a bad girl. She's tested positive for, decadurabolin. Fucking decadurabolin. As if, man. So this is where people got to understand the pharmacokinetics of these drugs, man. You wouldn't use decadurabolin in 2021 at this time of year. You just wouldn't. As a 5,000 meter runner who's super petite, she's like a girl you pick up and throw around. She's like a ragdoll physique, super slim and petite. Decadurabolin for someone like that? No way. The tried and proven is the oxygen vector drug. That's all you need. The red blood cells, man. That's all you need. This isn't a 100 meter sprint. This is a 5,000 meter, man. You don't need power for that. It's all about super lightweight, super big red blood cell volume, hemoglobin up there, things like that. That's what it's going to take. Low ESR numbers, good blood plasma, all that stuff. Good muscle glycogen retention. That's what you need. I believe we just get rid of all the sport. Oh man, I've got so many things to say in this video on one take. Maybe we'll do a follow-up one, but it's crazy, man. Now she's destroyed, man. Social media is vicious. Social media is vicious, man. They'd be like, you're a doper, blah, 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 All the forums, Let's Run, etc., just roasting this girl. And she's totally, in my opinion, innocent of the Nandrolone stuff. I don't think she's innocent of other things, but that's just my personal opinion. But that's not to say she's a bad person. That's the industry, man. Professional sport, that top level, when you're going for gold, going for the world record. It's sport. Professional sport is aggressive exercise funded by money to make more money, right? That's how it works. Nike's investing, or Trek, or Shimano, or SRAM, or these companies, Toyota, Mitsubishi, these brands, in Kellogg's, Michael Phelps. I love these people. Shelby, get rid of Shelby. She's dirty. Michael Phelps, he's my favorite athlete of all time. You think Michael Phelps is natty? These people, man. These people. This time of year always gets me hyped up. All right. There's limits to what the human physiology can do. There's freaks out there. There is freaks out there. And those freaks are at the Olympic Games. All right. And they're finishing at the back of the pack. And the freaks are at the front of the pack in the big money sports, or the marathon, etc. Swimming, powerlifting, etc. Those sports where it's just brute cardio efficiency, brute strength. Then that, my friends, is pharmaceutical assistance. All right, that's just how it is. Like, you don't go to the Olympics unless you're a freak, and you don't win a gold at the Olympics in these big name sports where there's big money on the table, unless you're, a freak on the freak compounds. That's just how it is. It's political. It's like, it's country versus country. It's our doctors versus your doctors, our labs versus your labs. It's political, all right? So let's take the heat off Shelby. She's just a victim, a pawn. I mean, she's just a replaceable pawn. I don't say it's in a bad way. She's just a replaceable runner, athlete. These big corporations just go, spit her out, cut ties, get rid of her. She got a sister, she got a friend. Who else can we replace her with? They're dime a dozen athletes, right? I don't be like personally against Shelby or anyone. I'm just saying from a corporate perspective, that's how you're viewed. You're viewed as, how much money can we make from you? How much of our cheap stuff we make in China or Bangladesh or Pakistan can we attach to your face in the billboard and the profit margins? Are you good for our brand? No, you're not. See you later. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Unfortunately, sorry, we cut tires now. Thanks for the money you made us. We're done with you now. We're going to pump and dump you. We've hit and quit. See you, bye bye. That's how it works. So now Shelby will be, see you later. Just like I did with Lance. Just like I do with all the people, man. The big names, etc. Look at what happened to Lance. How much money did Lance Armstrong make for people? I'm still making money from Lance Armstrong. And how they treated Lance. Because, Lance was bad to people. He tried to destroy people. Lance didn't destroy nobody. People came after him and he fought back because he's Lance Armstrong. It's like poking a bull in the bum and the bull tries to gouge you and you're like, you blame the bull. It's like, no. How many people did Lance go after that didn't try and take him down first? He just hit back. And so look what happened to Lance. All the money, all the money Lance made for people, man. How many of those people are around to back up Lance now? I'll back him up in that sort of argument, debate. It's pro sport, people. Don't be surprised when your favorite athlete gets caught doing something, taking something that helps them do the job they're paid to do, they're expected to do, that they're genetically designed to do. Their whole identity's around that. Can you imagine that? Training your absolute ass off, all the sacrifice, all the dedication, the injuries, the self-doubt, the sickness, the flus, the travel, the money, the expense, your parents' investment, everything. And you get to the start line of this race and you finish the race and you get absolutely fucking smashed. You get spat out the back and you're this childhood prodigy and you go over to Europe or wherever and you're like, what the hell's going on here? And then someone comes up after the race and says, wow, you did really good today. No, seriously, you did really good today. I can see you got a lot of talent, but there's something in your blood that's missing. If you're interested, give me a call. It's just vitamins. Don't ask any questions. It's all good. We'll look after you. You won't test positive 99.9% of the time. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So this discussion, as soon as I saw this chick got busted, I felt for her, because she's just another victim of the system. And also I felt good in a way. I was like, wow, this gives me opportunity to educate people on the truth of professional sport. Right? So I've got no qualms when someone gets busted for drugs. I'm like, yeah, duh, what, But I do feel for them, man. I do feel for them because they get chewed up. To repeat myself again, they just get chewed up, spat out, and replaced by the next up and coming. Simple as that. You're replaceable. You're disposable, like the pair of shoes or the tennis racket or the ball or whatever that they're putting on the billboard. That's 2018 stock. See you later. We don't need you anymore. It's worth nothing. It's 2021. Get in the program or get the fuck out. That's business.